What's up, y'all? To my spirit family, back again. Y'all never seen me before. I go by Jazzyfeelz, and it's probably one of the realest videos I've ever recorded. So this is a good time to, link up with me and really see what I'm talking about. My Mercury's in Sagittarius, so please just try to stick along because most of my videos, I have subjects, but most of my videos are free form and very much presently affecting me. So I'm speaking within the now oftentimes. And I think that's the best way to speak because that's when you get the raw and the real. And it's to the point where I really realize why it is that I get on camera. The camera is my journal. Speaking is it helps me understand in regards to the emotion that I feel. It's not until I listen back. And of course I could write, but I just feel like with these times and with this being that I am at this point, this is my therapy for real. And not only is it my therapy, it's my calling. I listen to people, a lot of spiritual people, a lot of motivational people, a lot of people that speak on business or just speak on their life. That is my interest. When I'm on YouTube, I don't care about the new video dropping. I care about things that, for one, connect to me in the now and real shit. So, for those of you guys that have been following me, we back in the car. That's so interesting to be recording this video in my car because it's definitely an option. But although I've had this car as my only primary car and we've shared a lot of memories, whether it be rap videos or just videos period or just being in this car even when the camera wasn't here, it's a lot of memories between me and this car. And that's why I felt like it was good to just come here. It's hot though, so let me let down the window real quick. And honestly, my videos be about over 10 minutes, so we finna get comfortable. I don't want to feel like I want to rush. We're in Texas, Houston, Texas. That's something to mention. I'm grateful to be here because I feel like I would have never imagined that I would have been here for the New Year's. I never know exactly what to expect on the New Year's, but I know that every New Year's for the past 3 years, maybe even 4, has been very, 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 very impactful in regards to expressing how the year goes. And I'm grateful because God listens to my blessings, and I feel like things come in time periods where I don't even realize that this is my blessing coming to fruition, and that is the magic that no one can control. I've seen so much, I've done so much, I look the same. Lola have seen so much, have seen and engaged in so many type of environments, and it shows in her. So maybe I don't look the same. Maybe I don't look the same, but I look the same when you look at me in my eyes. How I feel when I look at myself, I feel like I look the same, but maybe I'm forever changed. And the forever change, I don't want it to be a negative thing. I hate that my subconscious trains me to believe that it's something negative because it's something that's been tarnished. Tarnished is just culture. Tarnished to some people is art. But if I don't put it out there to really get that, then how I look at it in my head is just tarnished because that's the reality of it, regardless of what you want to think. So the reality of the industry is dirty, but it looked like what everybody want. The reality of a worker, someone that got money, they fucked up, but that's what everybody feel like they want. And it's interesting when you coincide with that in the matrix, but you are not of that. I cry about that. I cry about that because to a certain extent it's very humbling, and that's how I know this is a form of hell, because it's very humbling as an energy for me to be in this realm and being knowing of the reality of it, but also knowing that you are not the majority of that reality. So people on the outside, even people that's trying to low-key be like you, low-key wishing that they had the insight or wishing that they had the ability to have the foreknowledge from actual experience, they're leading people with views and likes. Views and likes. I just feel like the purpose of all this is unbeknownst to me. And I don't want to be selfish. I don't ever want to feel like I don't have enough, because I have everything that I need to be able to live this life and still literally get out of it scratch free. I got all my fingers, all my toes, everything is working how I needed to work for me to do what I need to do. How dare I have the audacity? And I'm big on people having the audacity to try me, but how dare I have the audacity to feel like it's not enough? I felt that for a long time. And you know why I feel that way? Is because I'm trying to compare myself to people that's not even of me. Not saying we not all together in this reality, because I feel like the fact that I'm in a human body says enough for itself in regards to alignment and knowing that we're all one source of consciousness, even if that source of consciousness is different pairs combined. And I always go back to the yin yang realm, because this matrix is really like, so even if I was just that circle within yin or that circle within yang, I'm still a part of that whole circle of that yin yang symbolism. And even when you see the yin and you see the yang, you know that them together is still a correlation. So that is the realm in reality that I associate this matrix with, and amongst so many other things. But like on a vast Mercury, on a vast Mercury and Sagittarius aspect, I would say that it's a yin yang symbol. That's the best way. Energy expression, I say energy signatures. That's the energy signature of how I feel this shit to be. So because I'm in this shit with a physical body, I have to abide by the consciousness and the laws and the obligations and the duties of why I came here. A lot of people come to this earth and they think they just here to experience every day. And, I feel like it's interesting because I'm a human now, and I have to feel how that feels to just experience every day, and sometimes not have anything to do in that day, but really just be here with my mind. And I hate those days. I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of other stars that have to make a living off of expressing themselves hate those days too, but those are the most days of revelation. Like, in the revelations that I've come to see is that, like, kindness, you should not lead in this matrix with kindness. Leading in this matrix with kindness will slow down your ability to tap into your truest self. But the beauty in that is that you allow other aspects to prevail. So another way to say that, for example, is like, I'm a loving ass person, and I feel like the love that I gave is nothing to really show for that at this point. To be 27 years old, and it's crazy because I still am getting used to the fact of me being 27. But to be 27 years old, I know what that means on a lot of different levels. And I know that it's not for the weak, period. So to be 27 years old and be able to kind of recognize the lane that I'm establishing and what, I like to say, the life that I chose. I did choose this life about 2 years ago to be a writer, to be an entrepreneur, to be a free flower. And recognizing that comes with obligations and duties and laws and things that I've agreed to. Stuff I ain't read the contracts though. Who reads contracts? But energy wise, I've agreed to, and now my life is played out in a certain aspect. It just made me feel like, how could I say it's not enough? Why is it not enough, as if it's not moving in the direction that it needs to move? Sometimes faster than I think, sometimes slower than I think. It's never in the way that I want, but it's always in the way that I desire. Damn, I have to speak in such a metaphorical way, but I hope that with my forms of, comparison, that you can put your own aspect onto it and have a deeper understanding of just your own mind process, because you should not think that is not enough. And I'm so grateful for the other queens that go out there, whether they have a visual. I have to put a visual in my videos because I appreciate the rawness that that this shit that I'm talking about, no, this is not chopped and screwed. Like, this is really me just pausing, having little raving moments, and just being like, this is what I want to say. And yes, I do think about how I feel. I think that that's something that's so powerful, because the aspect of feeling has changed for me. And I've gone through so many aspects. I've gone to a point where I didn't feel anything. You couldn't even get me to cry. I don't care how much you hurt me, like physically hurt me. I would get in physical fights. or emotional arguments and, things of that sort. And I literally, in my head, felt like I was doing that to feel something, and that made me feel less. Then I started feeling more, and I turned into sad girl gang, and even now I'm still aligning with that, as if maybe that's my, part of my genetics. Shout out to my grandma, because she would cry on movies. Like, it's not the crying on movies. Now I understand, grandma. Now I understand, bro. It's the feeling. You like certain things in movies, it'll spark up something that'll trigger something in your reality. And right now, what sparks up emotion in me is when I see movies and people are put through so many challenges and so many obstacles, and they go out and they do what the fuck they gotta do, and they be like the underdog. It's really that underdog energy, but not to be a victim, but that energy. When I see that and when I think about that, I connect to that so much, because I'm actively living that reality. It's not for the weak. This shit is real life, bro. This is not something that somebody could teach me. This is something that I'm really experiencing. And just, if nothing else, don't feel like where you at is not enough, because God got you. If you're experiencing this and you still living your life, and enough to be able to actually understand what I'm saying right now, it's enough. Actually, it's more than enough. Enough is nothing. When you have something on top of that nothing, when you have something to give to that nothingness, that's more than enough. And you giving that to them is just you processing that in your head, and it will come into fruition where you'll have moments where you can share that with the world. But if you're not sharing that with the world, it's enough for you. And you remember that for yourself, bro. It's enough for you. You don't have to compare yourself to how anybody else doing it. I don't care how old you is. I don't care what level you're on and how long it took you to get to any level of understanding. I'm 27, bro. There's no rush. And honestly, a part of me is really starting to embrace the fact that I don't have control over it. And I'm grateful that I don't have control over it, because if I did have control over it, I would not know what to do. But what I'm doing is enough. And what's enough is me understanding in myself that to be able to grow, to be able to have the necessities, actually more than enough of the necessities, even though it's not as much as I want to do exactly what I expect to do with my future, to have what I need for myself. I didn't have that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. And even if you don't have that right now, it's levels and waves. I done had it and gone. I couldn't grab it like I'm grabbing it now. And the only reason why I'm grabbing it now is because it's 27 years that I've been doing this shit. I mean, maybe I tapped in around 12. I said 12, maybe 7 or 12. But I feel like 12 was definitely when I started to realize that there was more to become. And even when I didn't know what that was, that right there, I remember that. And that was the beginning, because all those processes that I've gone through and those experiences that I've gone through, now it's developed into a deeper knowing and understanding that nobody could teach me. So, man, I need to go out there, and not trying to be a preacher, but I need to go out there and put myself out there too. Because what could I teach other people? I mean, people could learn, but only way that I could learn now is because I've taught myself. So now I'm able to open up to other people that's going through the same realm, and we could already have that understanding. And that's what it is. Ain't nobody trying to be no teacher or nothing, but I know y'all see this little summer heat, and I'm happy to see that, because it's been chilly. And I'm coming from Salt Lake City. I was looking for this sun, so it's like, bro, I'm happy to see it. And I was letting the day get me down, and I felt like the day was getting away. But now as I look at it, I feel like we right on time. So we're going to just hit to that. And at the end of the day, bro, I'm not trying to change for nobody but myself, bro. Period. I have no expectations for my life, but for me to continue to be at peace with myself and my mind. And to be at peace with myself and knowing that, shit, I worked hard. Some people, they have to work all day life. I'm chilling, big chilling, like I'm about to get a tan type shit out here. It's nothing that I need. And to be honest, if you really think about it, it's really nothing that you need. But once you recognize that, hopefully that'll help you understand what's most important to you. I ain't finna get lost though. Tell me how y'all make this, how this conversation make y'all feel. And I hope that you can embrace me with my flaws, because I feel like I'm starting to embrace that as one of my best features. Peace.